What's up, everybody all around the world? It's Silas Kingdomnaire. Kingdom Forfeit, guys. Got on my Mighty Warrior shirt. It's a mirror shirt, but I just love it. It was a gift. But guys, it's really awesome. But guys, I want to come on here and talk about touchdown with the promise of God, of His Word, and I was just thinking about something. You know how a wide receiver, catches the football and they score. Well, my dad, he used to play wide receiver in college, and he had a tryout with the Oilers, and when he was younger, but he got cut from the team, and he was going to try out again, but he met my mom, and things happened. You know, he had children and stuff. But one thing my dad taught me about football when I was playing football when I was younger, as a receiver, in order for you to catch the ball, you got to be focused on the ball. So when the ball is thrown to a wide receiver, what do? You got to look in the ball. You got to look at the ball in order for you not to fumble. Now, some receivers, sometimes they don't look it all the way in, but the most efficient, successful receivers, they look the ball all the way in, and they tuck it in all the way in. They tuck it all the way in to secure it. And then they take off. And then they make their moves. Some receivers that you see fumbling and getting hurt and stuff, they drop the ball when it's a difficult catch, guess what? They don't look the ball in. They don't look it all the way in all the time. Well, this is just like receiving the promises of God. You have to, I got two verses for you. One of them is in Psalms 1. I'm going to read the whole Psalms 1. Then it's in Joshua 1 and 8. But in order for you to receive the promise of God, guess what you got to do? You got to focus in on the word of God all the way in, and you got to receive it just like a wide receiver. And you got to tuck it in. You got to secure it. Then you can run with the promise and receive what the Lord has for you. Just like a wide receiver catches the ball for a touchdown. They focus is only on catching that one ball. It's only focused on scoring a touchdown. They focus on catching the ball first. They secure it in, and then they score the touchdown. The touchdown comes after the reception, after they receive. So the Lord always talks about receiving. In Malachi 3:10, He talks about receiving. If you read Malachi 3:10 and you just go to that line where it says enough to receive, you'll see the Lord telling you, receive it. If you just read that, receive it. He's trying to show you something. All you got to do is receive. Once you obey Him, all you got to do is receive. So I want to read Psalms 1. It says, the way of the righteous and the end of the ungodly. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the paths of sinners. So we're not supposed to be getting counsel from ungodly people. We're not supposed to be walking in the paths of sinners. Nor sits in the seat of the scornful. I'm not supposed to be sitting in the seat of the scornful. But it's delight. He said, take delight in the Lord and He'll give you your heart's desires. So He says, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. And in His law, look, I got to work on this. I got to get better with this. It says, and in His law, He meditates day and night. It doesn't just say when they feel like it. It doesn't just say when they feel like it. It says, and in His law, He meditates. You know what meditate means, right? To imagine the promise of God happening in your life. A lot of you don't do that. You don't close your eyes and imagine. You don't imagine yourself succeeding. That's why the Lord has to show you dreams. The Lord shows me, I don't do it a lot. I got to imagine more. But He shows me dreams when I'm asleep to help my imagination of me receiving the promises. And guess what? Therefore, throughout the day, guess what? I'm imagining the promise happening because He made it so alive for me in my dream. And I've seen a lot of the dreams He showed me. I've seen them happen. I've seen them happen and manifest. And there's a lot more that He's going to do. But His delight is in the law of the Lord, and in His law He meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree. You know why he should be like a tree? Because he's so focused on that promise. Just like that receiver is focused on catching that ball, nothing's going to stop that receiver from catching it and tucking it all the way in. No matter if somebody's going to hit him. You've seen great receivers that caught the ball when they came across the middle and people were knocked him out, but they still secured the ball because they were so focused on receiving it. They were so locked in that nothing could stop them from receiving it, no matter what was coming their way. That's just like receiving the promise of God. You will be like a tree if you meditate on His law day and night. You're so locked in on His word. Something gonna come up. You got a bill you got to pay. It's not gonna shake you, right? You got some bad news or whatever. It's not gonna shake you because you know that you know that you're about to succeed. And it says he should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that brings forth its fruit in his season. In its season, right? That brings forth its fruit in its season, whose leaf also shall not wither. And what it says, whatever he does shall prosper. You know why? Because he's so focused on the word of God that it has to happen. There's no other option but for it to happen. His belief level is 100,000% for sure. His faith is all the way up because faith comes by hearing. So all he's doing is meditating on the word. So guess what? His faith is increasing because the more you read the word, the more your faith increases, the more your belief in the Lord increases. And guess what? The Lord has for those who diligently seek him. He has a reward. There's always a reward for those who are who believe that the Lord is and who are diligently seeking him. There's a reward for that. And when you do it day and night, he said you will prosper because the word will shift. See, you got to work on your soul, your mind, your will, emotions, your imagination, your memory. Remember, the Lord said, think on those things that are of good report. A lot of you are not thinking on what's good report. You're thinking about negativity. You're thinking about, look, you're so focused on what didn't happen, on the business that didn't work. I'm telling you this right now. If you really love God, and the business did not work, it was not supposed to work. If you really love him